Make it a clean sweep. I got Dallas 11-6.
That's the only thing that matters.
He kept the, I know they were saying, oh, well, he kept the tag applied.
Have
he could have kept the tag applied and not straddled homeboy. You know what I mean? He could have moved his leg. So.
Oh, it was fine. It's just.
I'm just saying.
Ramirez
I
just
mean,
had a little.
It wasn't necessary.
Nothing wrong.
It didn't need to get to that extreme. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing wrong.
Bills in a last-second field goal or a last-second touchdown by Aaron Rodgers to take the division.
He's kicking field goals too. I want to bet.
Right?
I want.
Good evening, folks. Holy smokes, we got a packed show today for you. I don't like where I'm at. I'm like in the corner. Nobody puts Bodkins in the corner, baby. Good evening, folks. Welcome to another great LTS show. I am your host, Bodkins. Man, we got a jam-packed show. It's going to be heated. I'm ready. I'm pumped up. I'm excited. First of all, last night, kudos, man. I went and saw Metallica, incredible show for a bunch of 60-year-old old fucks. Still got it. Put on a hell of a show. So, man, maybe I'm a little pumped. I'm going on 4 hours of fucking sleep. But lots to talk about. We're going to talk with Jim about the Giants. Are they better off without Danny Dimes? As Danny Dimes started his last game as a Giant, possibly, right? We're going to talk about with Jonathan Grishman. Can't wait to talk about my Cubs making the big move, getting Craig Counsell today, become the new manager of the Chicago Cubs. What many tout is the best manager in the game. So, so we'll talk about that. Speaking of Craig Counsell, guy who probably kind of knows Craig Counsell and got some insider is none other than our producer, Tanner Dawson.
I don't know
Tanner,
Craig.
What's up, man?
What's up? I don't know Craig at all, so don't worry.
Yeah, you don't know Craig, but you got some insight to, a little bit, right?
Hey, today was a full surprise day, man. Unexpected, total shock all the way around.
I was shocked too. So this is
even
from my point,
player's side, coach's side, nobody expected it.
I didn't expect it. Nobody expected it. I didn't expect it. This is my day, my work. I'm kind of scrolling through Twitter. I see the Mets hire their manager. It says Craig Counsell is going to take a different position. A team that's already got a manager. That's all I read. Right?
Okay.
What the fuck? Okay. Yeah, that's what I read on Twitter. So kudos to our friend Italy Jet sends me this tweet. It says Craig Counsell Cubs manager. I said, I ain't seen that shit, man. I've been scrolling on Twitter. I ain't fucking It's not even a whiff of David Ross ever being fired. And all the dirt sheets, right? We're all Cubs Twitter that I follow. All of a sudden, 30 seconds after that, Bleacher Report sends Cubs fire David Ross, hire Craig Counsell. I said, holy shit, what the fuck?
I was at work and my guy, caddy corner from me in the office, we were just sitting there and he looks at his phone and goes, holy shit, Craig Counsell's hired. And then I looked at my phone, my brother's texting me, he goes, look at this article. I'm like, the hell just happened? What's just going on here? So yeah, we were unexpected.
So from what I gathered, and we'll talk with Jonathan in the second hour about it, but from what I gathered is you had to ask till November 1st, you had to ask permission to speak with Craig Counsell. So that was the likes of the Guardians, the Mets, I think the Astros. And I asked you last Saturday, hey, our last show, Monday, I said, hey, you surprised to this Craig Counsell flirting with other teams? You said, I think he'll be back in Milwaukee. Not, it is what it is. But he'll be back in Milwaukee. I just think he's kind of feeling it. So the Cubs, so it is November 6th. So 5 days. So after November 1st, I don't know if you don't have to ask or how the rules are.
No,
how that
his
works.
contract technically ended November 1st.
So his contract ended November 1st.
Free agent coach at that point.
Okay, his contract. Were they trying to rework a new deal for him in Milwaukee?
Yeah. I mean, he talked with the Milwaukee Brewers all the way to the end too.
Okay.
I guess the Cubs out of nowhere kind of came into play, but yeah, they were trying to work out a deal.
Yeah. So, the Cubs said they picked up the phone November 5th, 6th, and said, hey, what's it going to take for you to just drive a few miles south on whatever interstate that is between Milwaukee and Chicago. I feel like I've drove it a time or two, and it's all like it just feels like one city connects to the next city. It's what it feels like. Yeah. If you ever drive, it just feels like you're in Chicago, and then you keep driving, and it just feels like you're in Chicago the whole time, and then you hit Milwaukee. Just how it is. So drive about 2 hours south, and bada boom, you're Cubs. And they said whatever it takes. That's what I felt like, and they made him the highest paid manager in all of baseball. $4 million a year, or $8 million. Is it
$8 million a year? $8 million a year, 5 years, 5 years for 40, right?
40
in the end, so, which makes him the highest paid manager I think ever, technically, right?
It's got to be right. Yeah, he's getting. Maybe Joe Torre got a little bit more money at the end there.
You could say
the highest paid right now.
Yeah, we'll talk about with Jonathan more of the reason how we came to this conclusion of where Craig ended up, but we'll talk about it more with some of the moves the Brewers made.
But this is a glorious Monday, folks, for me.
Nick is happy.
We'll bring Scott in. Scott has his own opinions. We were going at it in our group chat. I'll go back and forth with Scott.
I tuned into it. I said, I think I told you something about Craig, and that was just crazy. And then I went back to work, did my thing. I turned in like 10 minutes later, and there's just like 6 pages worth. And I'm like, I don't even know what the hell's going on anymore. Like, I just stopped reading because I don't even know.
Scott, being the grumpy old fart he is, trying to rain on my goddamn parade. First of all, he's just grumpy because the Patriots are a fucking shit show. The Red Sox are a shit show, and he's trying to rain on my parade. It's Victory Monday. I haven't had a fucking Victory Monday in 4 fucking weeks. The Packers, even though they look like dog shit, and they beat the dog shit Rams yesterday, they fucking won, okay? And then today, the Cubs improve, okay? That's all that matters, all right? Yeah, we had a nice car in David Ross, but guess what? They said, you know what? You can upgrade to a fucking BMW, and you just got to pay a little more money. What do you want to do? And we said, okay, we'll pay a little bit more money.
And Iowa won. They beat Northwestern.
Yeah, and Iowa won. And Iowa won. We scored 10 points. We don't do that either.
There's positivity around here. Not the Bulls, but the positivity of Iowa here.
Yeah, fuck it. I don't get into basketball until Christmas. You know that. So,
you might not get into it then.
I may not even then. So, it's a glorious Victory Monday for me. And Scott's over here. We'll bring Scott in right now. I mean, he's just over here raining in my goddamn parade.
Listen.
I'm in a good mood. Scott's grumpy old ass having ass is just over here trying to shit on my parade.
Congratulations to you. Craig Counsell is a 1,000% upgrade from what you had, old David Ross. I just think they should have fired Ross before they hired Counsell. That's it. That was my problem.
I don't think they had the time, Scott.
Well, no. They started negotiating with Counsell, and then they said to David Ross, we're negotiating with this guy. See you later. You're out the door. They should have shown him the door before they started.
Scott, it's like trading in your car. You go to the dealership. You say, hey, what can I get for this car? And they say, hey, we can give you a BMW. You're not going to – you're on the same day, you got to be prepared to trade in your old car. That's what it is.
You can't tell me after blowing 5 games in a row, leading yourself out of the playoffs. You can't tell me that the GM and the owner didn't sit in with David Ross after that season and say, hey, we're going to keep you on another season. You can't tell me that. Because I know that.
I'm not saying that. But how they went about it.
They lost to made the World Series. And I'm not saying that was going to be the Cubs, but the team that we lost to that snuck in ahead of us was the Diamondbacks, and they made it to the World Series. And I'm not saying if we got in, we couldn't have made it, but if you get in the dance, anything's possible.
Hold on. First of all, they upgraded. I agree 100% with that. No doubt about that. But what they should have said at the end of the season meeting is with Ross or a week ago, hey, David, we're going in another direction.
Maybe they did. Maybe they said, hey,
if that comes out, then that's fine. That's the only thing.
Nobody even saw this. Nobody saw this happening.
Nobody.
This was the surprise. There's very few surprises anymore in anything, right? In life, especially with the internet and how fast we get shit, right? Like there's always some sort of insider. I follow every fucking Cubs insider there is on Twitter, Facebook, whatever the fuck it is. Not one person said, hey, Cubs are talking to fucking Craig Counsell. You know what? They all woke up to the same tweet that I got. And they were all like, every one of them said, holy shit. Holy shit.
Look, we got a lot more to talk about with Jonathan here on this subject. I don't want to beat it to death here already. It's a big move. It's the biggest move we'll probably have all offseason, honestly.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Tina, one question.
O'Shea, you think Ohtani's in it?
No, I don't know about Ohtani. This is what I do think. I think they opened up the book for Craig Counsell, and they're going to say, hey, you got Dansby Swanson, you got Ian Happ, we got a couple, 2 or 3 good young pitchers. We got our second baseman who just got the Gold Glove too. His name's slipping off my head. And then we're going to open up the fucking checkbook. This is a Joe Madden.
Maybe that was the case. Maybe that was the case of why Craig ended up being there, because he's here's your check, baby. Go sign it.
Yeah,
go get it. Go get your guys.
Yeah. This is just like Joe Madden at 16, right? 14, they found the core, and they said, hey, Rick, we appreciate you bridging the gap. We're going to improve better with Joe Madden, who we feel can take us to the next stop. And that happened in 2015, and Madden took us to 3 straight NLCSs. Might have been 4, I think. 3 for sure. So you know what I mean? Like that's how I view this. They opened up the checkbook in 15. They went out and got guys like Jason Hayward. They went out and got, John Lester. Like they went out and then they ended up getting John Lackey later. Like they opened up the checkbook, and I firmly believe we're done rebuilding, baby. I am hammering home right now. The Cubs rebuild is over.
What management basically said before we bring on the rest of the guys is we're tired of losing. We're getting the best manager available. We're going to go all in on this year.
Which is what they did, right?
Which is what they did with Craig Counsell. So kudos to them. They're aggressive. They're going out and getting guys. Let's see what they do in free agency and via trade. Let's see what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what they do, and I feel good about it for the first time in 5 years. I feel great.
Craig Counsell's a top 3
you're
manager
shitting on
in
it.
baseball.
You're shitting on it, Scott.
All right. Let's move on, Nick. We're gonna hammer this home anyways. For Jonathan.
Tanner, you're rocking your big Chiefs hat, and it was a nice win in Germany yesterday, but you beat the fraudulent Finns. The guy who hosts Let's Talk Fraudulent Finns. None other than Mr. Johnny Cruz.
Wow. What an intro. What's going on? What's going on, guys?
Johnny, I know it. Well, go ahead, Tanner.
Let Tanner have his moment.
I don't know if you guys heard that in Germany or not, but that was present. And it was there.
Yeah, it definitely sounded like there were a lot more Chiefs fans than Dolphin fans in that crowd yesterday. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like I said on the show, the Dolphins are gonna have to wear this title of fraud is a bit strong. Again, that's a bit of low hanging fruit, and everybody's just jumping on that, because it sounds.
But it's not just this season. It's been since McDaniel's been there.
No, that's total bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
It is not. I sent you the stats.
No. Okay, but we came back and beat Baltimore in Baltimore last year. We beat Buffalo.
We had injuries, Nick. We had injuries. We were hurt. Our defense wasn't good. We had the wrong coach in the defensive side. Look, it's like listening to the goddamn Oakland Raiders or the damn Denver Broncos and the Los Angeles Chargers. We got the wrong coaches. Well, get the right one in and figure it out.
We do have the right coach. It's easy to talk from your little pedestal up there when we got 15 finally. Because before that, you never heard shit from Chiefs fans. Please don't turn into Patriots fans. Please. Don't do that, bro. But
the Dolphins,
you know what I'm saying? They lost to a better team. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to jump in and kick on them. You know what I'm saying? Because they lost to the defending Super Bowl champs, the defending NFC champs. And the Buffalo Bills have been the AFC champs the last 4 years. All on the road.
Martin was just the Buffalo Bills.
Johnny, the Dolphins haven't beat a team with a winning record since Scott was 35.
God damn.
It's okay. You know what I'm saying? As long as we're still beating the teams that we're supposed to beat. And not only are we beating the teams that we're supposed to beat, we're stomping them out. You know what I'm saying? We're not getting caught up losing to a Broncos
you're like
team.
Alabama.
Losing to a New England Patriots team.
You're pounding your chest because you beat the school of blind.
Hey,
you know what? I don't care. As long as we
Play.
have enough wins to make it to the playoffs, I don't care who we beat. You know what I'm saying? If you look at the Rams from '99, not saying that we're gonna win the Super Bowl like the Rams, they beat one team that was over 500 that year.
And they won the Super Bowl.
Oh, well, it was okay, but I'm just saying nobody looks back at their season and says, "Oh, well, they beat a bunch of scrubs." No, you know, last year when the Chiefs were 5-2, they had none of those teams in the first 5 with their 5 wins were over 500. Did anybody say that? No. Again, I'm not saying that the Dolphins are going to go on to win the Super Bowl. I'm just saying you play who's on your schedule. Yes, they have to be a winning team. They're going to have more chances coming up. But again, the whole fraud thing, that's a bit strong. You know, it's a good team. They haven't gotten up to that level yet, but there's still plenty of season to go.
What's the panic meter at the Cruz house right now for the Dolphins?
I'm not panicked at all, bro. We're 63. We're first.
What about the rest of Dolphin Nation? I know they got a Nick Bodkins out there in the world that's panicking.
I mean, they're losing their shit, bro. They want McDaniel fired. They want Tua cut. Like, I mean, they don't know how to act, bro. For real, it's honestly a little. You'll say. I mean, I know a lot of fan bases are like that, but
I know a guy's team that we're gonna bring on here after Sam gets in here. Who would love to have some Tua on his team? So,
but no, I mean,
go ahead. We'll bring in Mr.
There's always those few in the fan base that are overreacting, and you're always gonna have those butt fans. So it is what it is, man. I don't stress it.
I have nothing confrontational to say. How's everybody doing tonight?
What's going on, man?
I'm just literally sitting here like I wish I had popcorn. I was like, boy, I didn't know I was watching ESPN. A bunch of guys shouting all over each other. Damn.
Listen, Jeremy, that men's team would like to have any quarterback in the NFL except the one they have this week.
Yeah, right. I know, man.
Let's go ahead and we'll bring in our guest because we got a lot to talk about. We got the Giants to talk about. We got LA Knight to talk about. Sam shedding tears in a bucket.
Big tears, massive,
lots to talk about. Give it up for Mr. Savant himself, and I think our hockey team, Tanner. I saw on the bottom line. I think our hockey team, the Blackhawks, are getting sued by several players or something. So
they are.
They are right on the wrong team.
Jim's already chiming in.
Give it up for.
And I got him.
Hey, what's up?
Everybody's saying,
yeah.
Jim,
what's up? What's going on? My Monday Night Maniacs, what's going on?
What's up, dude? Where do we start at? Let's start in Giant territory.
Do we have to?
Has Danny Dimes?
Oh, please clip that. Please clip that.
Nick needs to get his daily Daniel Jones talk out of the way, weekly Daniel talk out of the way. That's what we do every Monday with you. That's what Nick does.
True. That's true. All kidding aside.
Has he started his last game as a Giant? Because now the Giants are going to be – it's Danny DeVito time or Matt Barkley time. Tyrod Taylor's on the IR. So you're starting Danny DeVito or Matt Barkley on Sunday.
Danny Dimes I started passing
game as a Giant? At least started, because now you're gonna have a top 5 pick. This is the best, Jim. This is the best scenario for the Giants. Because
but out of the top 5, who's really ready to come into the NFL?
Well, we don't know. Caleb Williams is crying on the sideline, so I mean that seems like to fit the New York media. Will love that, right? I mean, if he's crying on the sideline,
but is he ready? But is he ready? No, because the offensive line is just gonna be the same problem you have this year. The offensive line is just not good enough. Let's be honest.
Doesn't your defense know how to stop somebody, though? Because USC's doesn't. At least you can stop somebody.
USC's defense is awful. Awful.
Yeah, so
256 points they've given up.
They fired their defensive coordinator. I didn't know they had one.
They finally fired the guy. It only took them, did they actually fire him? It only took them
10 weeks
too late. It only took them 8 weeks too late to do that. Because I would have fired the guy
last year. He was there last year, too.
But I would have fired than Josh McDaniels.
But I would have fired the guy after I gave up 28 points to San Jose State week 1. That's when I would have fired the guy.
Jim, I do think it's the best. I think this is the best case scenario for the Giants because now Dimes is hurt. So, okay, now when we draft a quarterback, it's because, hey, you were hurt last year. We don't know if you're going to be the same. We got a top pick, top 2 or 3 pick.
What are you talking about, Nick? You're still tied up in salary cap hell.
That's what I'm saying.
Jones. You can't do nothing.
Yeah, but you can draft a quarterback, though.
Because they paid the wrong effing guy. Because they paid the wrong guy this summer. That's what happened. They paid the wrong guy.
Hey, Jim, you need a quarterback, bud? I got one. You want?
I want Tannehill. Forget that guy too. He's a bum too. He's another bum.
For the Giants started when
another bum.
Jones signed that contract for $40 million. That's when it started. Instead of Saquon.
Yep. Should have signed Saquon. Should have signed Saquon. Shouldn't have. Well, first of all, hey, let's go back to when this mistake happened. And Tanner and Nick have heard about it for a year. The mistake happened when they drafted him 6th overall instead of dropping back to go get him.
Yep.
If you really liked him, because nobody else was drafting Daniel Jones that high. Let's be honest. Nobody was drafting him that high. If you really wanted him that badly, you could have traded back and got it. And maybe you could have got an offensive tackle or get some help on the O-line. He had one good year with this team, and it was a fluke year because all they did last year was run the football and figure out ways to win games. They still can't pass the ball. They are not using Jalen Hyatt to his ability. When they did, they would move the football down the field. Brian Daboll is taking a step back. This team is just not very good, and it's an embarrassment, to be honest. Like, let's be honest. The guy, Tommy DeVito, a.k.a. Danny DeVito, he looked good in preseason. He could throw the football. Why are you not throwing the football against the Jets? You could have won the game. Like, easily could have won the game. Like, this team is just awful. Straight up garbage, top to bottom. It's just the same crap every week with this team. Same crap. Barkley's trying his best. He's doing what he can, but he can't do it himself. The quarterback stinks. At times they look great, but the Bills are a fraud. So, I mean, does that really count for anything? They looked good against Buffalo, but again, Tyrod's hurt. This guy's hurt. I mean, just go get the top pick. Go get somebody that you can trust and build around him. And don't let the guy start next year.
Jim, is the Buffalo game more an indictment of what the Bills are right now?
Absolutely, 100%. 100%. The Bills are not a good football team right now. I don't understand how you let the Giants do that to you. I mean, look, the Giants can show they can play offense and they can get things going. But, man, like, if I'm Buffalo, that's a game I'm looking back and saying, if we don't make the playoffs, that's a game we needed to win.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they did win it, but the way they won it, it's like, it's not very good.
Yeah, not at all.
Do you think the fact that they made it to the playoffs last year kind of messed everything up? Because they were supposed to be rebuilt. You know what I'm saying? So if they only won 5 or 6 games last year, maybe the expectations aren't so high this year.
Yeah, because you win a round. You beat a fraudulent Minnesota Vikings team whose defense is just as bad. Daniel Jones did it with his legs. Barkley did it with his legs. But what did Nick and Tanner know this? What's the MO? If you stop the run, make the Giants throw you through the air, can't do it. And that's what teams are doing to it. That's what they're doing this year. I mean, let's be honest. And look, the Raiders, they got a new coach, Antonio Pierce. They're going to come out with some mojo. I mean, this team every week is just not prepared to play football.
Yeah.
Hey, that was your guy, Antonio Pierce, the Giants. You know what I mean? He's from your backyard.
Yeah, he is. I mean, look, it's one game. I'm not going to overreact to one game. But the Raiders, you knew they were going to come out with new energy. New energy, look, McDaniels is awful as a coach. He's a good coordinator, but he's awful as a coach. But you knew they were going to come out with energy. But it says something on the coaching staff for not having his team prepared every week. Like, the Giants just come out flat all the time.
All the time.
Is there anything you could take out of this Giants team and say that's something we can build on for the future?
Jalen Hyatt.
Yeah.
Jalen Hyatt.
Yeah, they're like
threat, but they don't use them.
No, I agree. They don't use them at all.
They don't.
With
why did you
draft
him?
Yeah.
Yeah,
with Darren Waller out.
Yeah, it's not like they're watching my Packers play. You watch, and even though we won yesterday, you're like, what the fuck did we do good in this game? Like, we didn't do.
Right.
There's not one thing you're like, and Scott, I'm sure it's that way with the Patriots too, where you're like, we don't do what do we do well? You can't like we didn't punt the ball well. We don't throw the ball well. We don't run the ball well. We don't block. We can't.
We don't do nothing well. We don't do anything well. We were. Wait,
Ripken or some shit yesterday. It's the only reason we won.
We couldn't pass the ball. We couldn't run the ball. We were diddly do. Just bring up Jim Mora. That's it. That's how I summed it. Diddly poo. We couldn't pass the ball. Playoffs? You kidding me? Like
playoffs.
Playoffs. Like Giants. Playoffs. Stick a fork on them. They're done. Top 5 pick. If you get a quarterback, just make sure you build an offensive line. You know,
it's going to be Bears 1, Bears 2, Giants 3, Patriots 4, and the way the Jets look tonight, they could be 5.
I mean, look, if you could get somebody like Drake May, I think you can build around him. You get a good offensive line. The problem is Daniel Jones, like Tanner said, you've tied up $40 million a season with this guy. Like, what were you doing?
How much is guaranteed though, or against the cap?
They should be able to get out of it next year.
I think after next year,
it was basically a 2-year deal.
Yeah,
but he's done.
But he's not even going to be ready for next year.
I agree. They shouldn't
exactly.
Him, but
I think it's the best. I think it's the best thing that can happen to the Giants. If I'm a Giants fan, I'm celebrating today.
I agree with Nick. You draft your quarterback, and you sit him. And let get through his contract, and then you just cut ties with him after next season.
So they should have cut ties with him after this past season when his value was high.
I agree.
So your potential out is 2025. You'll have 2 years left on the deal, $82 million, but you still got $22 million in dead cap off of that. $69 million next year in dead cap.
And you can't trade it. No one wants it, and nobody wants it.
I know how you feel.
$47 million cap hit next year as well. 41.58 for your next 3 years. It's still a horrendous deal.
Wow,
it's an awful deal. What an awful deal. Just an awful deal. Like I told you guys when this happened, paid the wrong effing guy. You paid the wrong guy. I don't care about running backs, like all this stuff. These guys need to get paid. But there's a segment that one of the hockey writers and I would like to, when we talk about guys that are on contract years, and I don't think you guys care about language on here, but we have a segment called Pay the Fucking Man Now. Like, Barkley should have been paid.
We don't demand his money. Ooh, my virgin ears. Oh.
Yeah, they could have paid him and tag Daniel Jones, man.
Let me ask you this. Would they have been in a better position if Tyrod was starting from game 1?
Yes.
Now?
He looked good with that offense. That offense actually looked pretty decent.
Because he passed the ball.
They remember
because he can throw it a little bit.
Hey, Darren Waller was on the, now he's hurt, but I mean, at least when he seemed to find Waller.
But the issue with Daniel Jones is, and Orlovsky talks about, all these big guys talk about it. You could see it. He just goes to one guy. He doesn't read the field. He doesn't read progressions. He has a problem with that. Look, all the quarterbacks kind of have a problem with that, but the elite ones know where their option is right away. Like, go back to last night, the Sunday night game, right? Ferguson, wide open on a 1st and 10 for the Cowboys. Why is Dak throwing in double coverage? Mahomes is going right to Kelsey on that same route. Just it's out of his hand and right there, and that's a first down. Maybe Dallas wins the game. Those are the kind of throws that kind of, Daniel Jones just looking at the same guy all the time. When you got Hyatt open, you got all these guys open, we're going the same guy all the time. It's a problem.
Wow. Yeah.
That's insane.
Jim, let's get into the hockey world. It seems like me and Tanner picked the wrong team in the Blackhawks because it seems like they're getting sued. What can you tell us about that? What the hell's going on?
So this dates back to 2010 when they won the Stanley Cup. Kyle Beach lawsuit when Brad Aldridge, the whole investigation about alleged sexual assault with a couple of Black Aces there. And now another member has come out and said that. And his name is John Doe. We don't know his name. But, again, just more cover-up of what actually happened. Now, from my understanding, a lot of the guys like on that team and and going back are really like effed up from this situation. Like Bufflin, like a lot of guys just, are just it's up here with them what happened. We've never heard from Kane. We haven't heard from Taves. We haven't heard from Sharp. Again, it's an institutional failure. We hear the NCAA talk about this all the time with all this stuff about, alleged allegations about certain things. It was an institutional failure. With this kid coming out and this player coming out, Joel Quenneville and Stan Bowman will never work in the National Hockey League ever again. Their chances were 5%. It is down 0. Like, this is 0% they're ever coming back. You cannot have this kind of stuff going on. It's unfortunate. We're going to see what happens. I don't think they can hand out any more punishment. I mean, the league already ruled on everything, before. So, I mean, the fact that we have more people coming out, it's just a bad look overall for this team. And I know people are clamoring about, Connor Bedard and he shouldn't be there and this and that. Look, take Bedard out of it. He wasn't there. This is trying to be a new regime. But again, we got to know, we really haven't heard from the guys that were there, the big superstars. Yeah. Again, we may never will, but this is crazy. I mean, look, you should, like, we have all these asterisks in sports. Like, just put an asterisk over this Chicago Blackhawks team in 2010. What happened? Like, just give USC their national championship back. The Heisman back. Everybody knows they were the best team. That was the best player. Just put an asterisk next to it. Like, we all know what happened. So, again, it's a sad situation in Chicago.
So what is up with this season too? Like, already a bunch of drama to begin the season, be right before the start of the season. Ottawa getting hit with now from the NHL, giving up a draft pick of, I guess, a first round draft pick of their choice, right, in the next 3 years. That's full on it, right?
Yeah, again, another institutional failure. Look, Michael Andlauer met with Pierre Dorion, the former GM of the Ottawa Senators, last week, Tuesday, before everything came down. They had a dinner, basically went over everything, and, Pierre stepped down that night, and, they mutually parted ways. I mean, that is general manager. And again, this goes on in the National Hockey League too, because when contracts are registered with Central Registry, like, that stuff should be known in the contract. So if Evgeny Dadonov got traded from Ottawa to Vegas in the summer of 2021, his contract came with a no trade clause. Yeah. And he had a limited no trade clause. Vegas wasn't on that list, so fine. But when Vegas tried to clear cap space to get relief with the Ryan Kessler to Anaheim thing for Dadonov, the agent came out and says, whoa, that's not kosher. We're on here. So backtrack. Look at everything. You have 2 mad clubs because they couldn't get a trade done, and basically they wanted a hammer brought down. Now, we'll see if the NHL holds them to this. The Devils got slapped with one where cap circumvention with their Ilya Kovalchuk thing. They took the pick away, they gave it up, and then they gave it back, but they made him draft last. Arizona got hit with it with some off-season training stuff, scouting stuff that was illegal, but they lost a first-round draft pick. It's pretty significant. And then you had, like I said, the GM stepping down. Now the team's losing. They're not good right now. The expectations were there. So there's a lot of drama going on there in Ottawa, in the Canadian capital. It's crazy to think that the Sens started off so well. You have all this drama, and not to mention the Shane Pinto suspension. He's still not signed. He wasn't signed. So it goes back. It's like a snowball. Yeah, Tarasenko's playing well. Yeah, you traded to Brinkett. You got Kubalik. Yeah, you got a goal here and there, but you should have been able to have Detroit retain some salary so you could have signed Pinto. The Hamonic signing's not great. So everything was just like, okay, Pierre Dorion's out of here. Now, it saved DJ Smith, the head coach's job for now. I think he's still in the hot seat, and I think I would not be shocked if they make a coaching change.
So with this whole debacle, though, like, doesn't it in a way, I feel like it should come back to Vegas in their situation of not maybe knowing the full deal, or was it just not disclosed?
It was just never registered with the National.
It
was not disclosed, and it was never registered with the National Hockey League.
Amazing.
And the owner and the new owner, Michael Andlauer, basically shot from his hip and said, hey, wait a minute. Like, this Dadonov situation, I wasn't here at the time. The Pinto thing, the real kicker is that the league didn't tell him about this when he was buying the team about Pinto. They were already looking into Pinto before he bought the team. and there was a chance that if they disclosed this information, that they wouldn't get the money that they were looking for. So he was really like annoyed at the league for a lot of this stuff that went on.
Huh.
Let's go on the ice, Jim. I usually ask my Bruins question, but I'm not going to. I'm going to ask a question about the San Jose Sharks.
Yep.
How
they're bad.
How historically bad are they right now?
I mean, they potentially could be Colorado Avalanche, San Jose Sharks of the early 90s when they first came in. Bad. This is really bad. When you give up 20 goals in 2 games, this is awful. Like, really bad. Like, Mike Greer called out his team today, called out David Quinn, unacceptable. They had a heart-to-heart, basically gave it to his team. You just feel bad for the players there because you knew the team was going to be bad. You knew it was going to be a rebuild, but you didn't think it was going to be this bad.
Joey Thornton retired on X, didn't he? Wasn't that where he broke?
He did,
and that
he did.
I know him in Boston. I mean, he was great for Boston. I was ticked they let him go, but it's really bad. I mean, I've been looking at their scores and box scores. It's historically bad for any franchise in any sport right now. So
I know it's really bad in San Jose.
Jim, what are these the two brothers, the Jack Hughes and Quinn Hughes? What's making them so special? Because I've been reading that they're the kind of the early favorites to win.
Isn't Hughes hurt? Hughes got hurt, right?
Jack Hughes just got hurt the other night. He has a shoulder injury. Yeah. I've been talking with some people. Could be AC joint, probably out a month at least, maybe a little less. It all depends on how he heals. And look, his brother Quinn Hughes should win the Norris Trophy. Jack Hughes was going to be could still be potentially up for the Hart Trophy. And his brother Luke Hughes, still on the Devils, could be up for Calder Trophy. So, I mean, these kids are loaded. That the family is so good. And look, these players are just what they're doing. Vancouver's off to a great start. Quinn Hughes looks like the guy he was not last year, but a couple of seasons ago. This Canucks team's playing really well. New Jersey, everything goes through Jack Hughes and that offense. He's playing. He had 20 points. Still leads the league right now with 20 points. He's unbelievable what he's doing. Great draft pick when they drafted him number 1 overall. It's a shame he gets hurt. He's had some shoulder issues going back to his World Junior days. So hopefully nothing too serious. They did avoid major. They thought he broke it. They thought he separated it. He didn't. So luckily, their worst case scenario avoided. However, that it's definitely a blow to the Devils because Nico Heischer's not there as well. But Luke Hughes quarterback in that power play. But Quinn Hughes definitely could win a Norris Trophy this year, especially the way Vancouver's playing.
Is Vancouver the biggest surprise to you in the NHL right now? And how well they're playing?
I mean, I wouldn't call him biggest surprise. I think the fact of the matter is, for me, I think you got to go with Anaheim because I didn't think Anaheim would be this good this year. I think they're showing hope. I think it'll come back to earth a little bit, but I think Anaheim has made that Pacific Division even harder now because, look, Mason McTavish continues to score clutch goals. Troy Terry's playing well. John Gibson is awesome. Their young defensemen are stepping up at the right time, and they just seem to be those cardiac kids. Now, how long can that last? Well, it's one of those things where, look, you can win all these close games early. It's all great, but can it last for the rest of the year? And if it does it carry over to the next season? Resiliency only gets you so far, and coming back in games only gets you so far. But I like the Ducks as one of my surprise teams this year. I know. Look, I was speaking with some people. Vancouver, you could put in there. Boston, definitely, because a lot of people really weren't sure what their start was going to be. Either we're going to come out like gangbusters, like they have, or they were going to suck.
Yeah,
and they're coming out like they're a motivated team. No, I'm serious. Like that was the word coming out of training camp. Like, we don't know what this Boston team's going to be, but it's either going to go one of two ways. It's going to be they're going to come out like a motivated team, and we're going to see how long it lasts, or they're going to suck. And look, there's one of the best teams in the league right now.
No middle ground.
No middle ground. No, there was no middle ground.
No, Jim's right. In Boston, it was you're going to be where you were last year, or you're going to feel the effects of last year's playoff loss and suck. It was.
So, Jim, what I hear you saying is these Hughes brothers, they're like the Watts family of the NHL.
Mm-hmm. They are
They're pretty.
They are
fun to
they are
watch.
solid. They are solid. They're great. They're a great bunch of kids. They just love playing hockey. They love being around each other. And, it was fun. It's just a shame like all these superstars going down right now in this game because there's so many good players. Look, Boston's playing well. Vancouver's playing well. You look at the standings, Anaheim's up there, like Montreal got off to a decent start. Like that was a surprise for me. I didn't think they'd be getting off to that good of a start. I mean, they're coming back to earth, but like Anaheim's a real surprise for me because like you look at it, right? You look up and down, you're like, okay, well, they got some pieces, but they feel like they're going to be more of a seller. Well, they're not a seller right now. And they're getting the goaltending. Lucas Staal is playing well, and look, Zegras isn't even really playing that well right now. Like, he hasn't really done much. Drysdale, look, Zellweger's on his way. They're doing what they're doing with Leo Carlsson. He's a part-timer. They're getting contributions from Adam and Henrique. And I even came on the show and other places. I was like, well, you add Radko Gudas and Alex Killorn. Those are more moves for when you're ready to make the next move. But they know what they're doing over there. And look, Mason McTavish continues to play great. Frankfurt Toronto's over there. Ilya Lybuskin and Pavel Michkov is playing great on defense, especially on power play. So, I mean, this team is really good. I mean, they're showing hope for the future. I doubt it lasts.
So Jim, let me ask you something. In the NBA, it's Christmas time at the benchmark. Where is the benchmark for you to determine what a team is? Is it 25 games? Is it 20 games?
I think it's 20 games for me. I think it's 20 games for me. It's 20 games, and obviously the benchmark in the National Hockey League is U.S. Thanksgiving. That's if the playoffs are usually if you're in the playoffs by U.S. Thanksgiving, you're gonna make the playoffs. 80%. Look, the Blues are a rare exception. Like that's the anomaly. The pattern is if you're in the playoffs by U.S. Thanksgiving, you're making the playoffs. So that's
this like 2 weeks from now, Jim.
Right, it's 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, you're about
season's
almost
over in
20
2
games
weeks?
in 2 weeks from now.
I mean,
so the season's over in 2 weeks.
If you look at this, if you look at the standings right now, I'll go to the Western Conference, right? If I go to the Western Conference, right, and where Vegas is in their division.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, it turned.
He's gone sideways. He's going sideways.
He's getting ready to tell.
The plane's crashing.
He's getting ready to tell Nick off, and then it's crashed.
I mean, but by his luck, we don't have to talk hockey after Thanksgiving.
We still got to talk hockey because there's seedings. There's the 7 seed ups, potential deal. Like, there's still news. It's just like the NFL season.
The season goes till damn July.
You know the playoff scenario for the NFL by this weekend. So
this is what I would say too. The U.S. Thanksgiving is around, as Jim said, the 20 to 25 game mark for a lot of the teams.
It's in 2 weeks, yeah.
That's when you can really start to tell who's good, who's not, because these teams aren't going to be really good and then all of a sudden fall off. Like Vegas. They're really, really good right now. I
get what you're saying.
Yeah. So that's what Jim's saying. So that all ties into what he was saying.
I would counter argument to you, Scott, is you said the benchmark is Christmas opening day for the NBA. The first 20 games don't fucking matter. You start paying attention at Christmas. You look in on it. I mean, you check in on it. Like Tanner is full Kansas basketball right now because they started tonight. But usually you stop really watching these sports, NBA, so to speak, at Christmas time. That's the unofficial start of the season. When everybody wants them to start is Christmas time. And forget about these first 2 months. We talked about that on Sunday's show. The three of us talked about it. Jim, let's go to some wrestling. Go ahead.
So I was going back to what I was saying, right, about the Oilers, right? So you look at this salvo. So if you go back to it, you look at the Pacific Division right now, right? And you say to yourself, okay, Vegas is at 23 points. Well, the Edmonton Oilers are at 5 points right now. They're struggling and they're a disappointment. Well, you're down right now. You're down 17 points to begin the year, could be more, and you're chasing Vancouver too. Like, you're down 12 points to them. Like, that's not good. If they can't turn it around, it's like what it's 11, 12 games in. It's getting late early in Edmonton. Like, I mean, when is it not early anymore? And you go over, like, even in the Central Division, like Dallas 15, Colorado 14, Winnipeg's there. Like, that's a little bit more stacked. And you could say Arizona's a surprise. But you go over to the Atlantic, right? Okay, Boston's at 19. Well, you know, Buffalo, Florida, down in the division, the Leafs won. They stole a point. They stole the games. You look at the top of the Metro. I mean, yeah, things are a little jammed up, but it does. If everything holds the way it's supposed to hold, yeah, that's the right call. Is American U.S. Thanksgiving, because it is the 15-20 game mark, and teams do usually miss the playoffs if they're out of it. I mean, there are points you can't give away, and this Oilers team is just a complete disappointment. The goaltending, the coaching. I mean, this is a big game against the Vancouver Canucks tonight. If they don't win, Jake Woodcroft's seat is already hot. He could be out of there. But it's just not on Woodcroft. It's the whole team. They're just not playing well. They don't have good goaltending. They continue to try to solve it. But what I don't understand is they're playing a man-to-man system last year. They go to a zone +1, and now they're just getting exposed everywhere. Like, go back to man-to-man, let it work, but you cannot win with two guys in the National Hockey League. Scott knows this. Yeah, McDavid and Draisaitl might be the two best players in the world. But if you don't surround them with the best talent, you don't surround them with good line mates,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. The teams know what to do. Take McDavid and Draisaitl, make the other guys beat you.
Yeah, because if you look at Edmonton specifically, since Jim brought it up, they have to go a month and a half with maybe one loss,
right,
to get back into playoff race, and that's extremely hard to ask any team in any sport. Yeah, so
I mean, you're allowed 3 4-game losing streaks in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, agreed. And then once you go past that, that's it.
That's it. You're done.
You're out of the playoffs. Yeah, agreed.
Yep,
I'm with it.
Jim, on Saturday, Roman Reigns retained at Crown Jewel and left Sam in a bucket of tears.
Whole bucket.
Was very yes. I felt the same, but you wrote a great article, Jim, for Full Press Wrestling, talking about how maybe we shouldn't. You know, I think this Roman Reigns era, I'm kind of with you. It's kind of getting stale to me.
Boring.
Yes, and you were saying, hey, these numbers, it's inflated. Much like the economy, it's probably more inflated than the economy, which is tough to do these days.
Oh, definitely it is. I mean, you look at it, like the comparison, right? Like Hogan made like 400 title defenses in his like 3-year reign as champion from when he beat the Iron Sheik till he lost it with that whole thing with Andre $1 Million Man before they had that tournament. Delicious. But you think about it, right? Orange Cassidy had 31 straight successful final defenses when he won the AEW All-Atlantic International Championship, right? This guy's defended the title 29 times on pay-per-view in 3.5 years. Like, what? The title's supposed to mean something. Like, why are we putting a championship on a part-time guy? Pull the effing trigger on Cody at WrestleMania. Should have done it. Could have done it with Sammy. It didn't matter. Like, it's just getting old, and people just don't want to see it anymore. It's just getting tired, and the numbers just inflated.
Well, it's the same playbook, right? Like, hey, let's get this new contender. We'll build him up. He'll look good somewhat against Roman. Here comes Jay. Here comes Jimmy. Here comes Solo. It's the same playbook that they've been running for the last 2 years.
It's the same matches, the same moves, the same stuff. It's the same boring match every time at Roman Reigns. Like, and there wasn't even a roller coaster of an emotion. Like with Cody and Sammy, it's like, oh, okay, they have a chance to win this thing. Jay, you didn't think was going to win. LA Knight, you knew wasn't winning. But I knew the match finished before. I said it last week when I was talking with my buddy. I was like, interference. LA Knight's going to look good. Interference, 1, 2, 3. Okay, Roman retains. Okay, big deal. Yeah. Same crap. It's the same crap all the time. And now the dude's not even going to wrestle to Royal Rumble. Like, really? So you're going to tell me. Point? He's like, yeah, well, they're like, oh, we're going to break Hogan's record. The dude didn't even wrestle. Like, come on. Like, the guy's not on TV. He's not going to be at Survivor Series. He's not defending the most prestigious championship of your company. You just want to beat Hulk Hogan. Why? No one cares. It's artificial. It's just come with an asterisk. I know you shouldn't be getting this upset about fake numbers because that's what they are. It's fake. But you care. But you care enough. But you care enough because you knew guys like Bret Hart and Stone Cold and The Rock and Triple H and Kurt Angle and guys like that defended the championship like all the time. They weren't, oh, well, I mean, Michaels is different because he had drug problems, but whatever. He still defended the championship. But guys were running house shows, defending the title all the time. I know it's a different era, but this dude is not even around. It's like Brock Lesnar 2.0. Like, I don't need this.
Gosh. I don't want to talk about Brock.
Seems like this is what it seems like. Here's what it seems like. Triple H wants to keep titles on everybody for months to years. Rhea Ripley's been the women's title holder for months.
I think she should have lost there as well.
Years. I mean, do they pull Roman Reigns' title at Royal Rumble? Do they do it before WrestleMania? Do you think?
No.
I would do it, but they're not going to do it.
Cody has to finish the story, right?
Yeah,
well, that's what I'm saying. Cody faces Roman at Royal Rumble in the main event, and he wins the title at Royal Rumble.
No, because they're going to do it at WrestleMania, Philly. Yeah. That's where they're going to do it.
How long's the story?
Been going on for about 5 6 years.
Goddamn long that the story is.
I'm reading War and Peace.
It's the same story over and over again.
He gets interference.
At least Gunther's Intercontinental title reign has meaning to it because he's defending the championship. All this stuff, like Bianca's title, like they want to have these long title reigns. Like everybody, this historic title reign, this and that. You know what was an historic title reign? Orange Cassidy's AEW International Championship. Right. You know what else is an historic title reign? Will Ospreay, because this guy defends the championship. The title means something when you defend it, not when you don't defend it. It's not a prop.
Or when you're not around. When you're not around.
You're not around. Yeah. Like, it's the same crap. To be honest, Crown Jewel was not that good. Like, Logan Paul, okay, he had a great wrestling match. But to be honest, it's like, it's getting to that point where it's hitting that plateau again. Like, all the momentum that they had, they lost it. They lost it because they didn't pull the trigger on Cody. They should have just done it. The guy's still over. Could have had great matches for the championship. But no, we got to run this story till WrestleMania 40. And we're losing momentum because a lot of people I've talked to is just like, it's getting stale again, man.
Shout out to Logan Paul, though, for saving Rey Mysterio there.
That
was legit. I hate him, but he saved him.
Dude, guy 8 matches in. Guys 8 matches in, don't do that. This dude was able to like see what was going on and register it. Look, this guy's a pure athlete. I knew he was going to win the title too. I was like, yeah, he's winning the U.S. titles. All right, cool. But again,
I mean, how early did we hear it? Because we knew Logan Paul was going to beat Rey Mysterio, and then we all immediately said LA Knight's going to beat Logan Paul to get the USA.
I think that's when but the funny thing is, if you go back watch the Rey match, like look what Santos did. Yeah, he stopped that crony from getting the brass knucks, but he just left the brass knucks right there.
Yeah, right there.
And they're not gonna like if you watch it, the tease is coming for the heel turn, so you could play that one off of it. Like, yo, why didn't you just take him? But like LA Knight's gonna win that, and that's what's gonna happen, which will be fine. But again, this is usually a step. What I would have done. See, this is what I would do with Roman as champion, is one of these guys that are up and coming, like what they did with Jericho and Triple H, do a fast count. And you could just take the title off later, but just see how the crowd reacts when he comes back later. Like, they haven't gone back to that playbook in a while. And they did that with Jericho when he first came. Remember when he won the title on a fast count because Earl Hebner was getting tired of Triple H's crap in the ring? I think that's something I would do.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I like that. I like it.
All right, Jim, we'll get your Thursday night pick.
Oh, real quick.
Wait.
What?
Go ahead, Jim. You say your thing.
I was gonna say, look, if you guys watch college football this past week, it was an awesome weekend. Dude,
Thank you.
It was.
Oklahoma goes down again. I had the upset against Oklahoma State. All the swing games I won in my pick'em league that I was in. Washington, what a win at USC. Awesome. USC's defense, we said before, is complete shit. They are so bad. That's why they're not in a Pac-12 title game, and they're never going to win a national championship. Look, Kansas playing well.
Let's go!
Kansas State with a nice, even though they lost in overtime.
Good game,
again,
too.
I will say this over and over. What are you doing? 4th down. What is that play in overtime? Like, take the field goal and go to double overtime.
Go to overtime.
Just go to double overtime. Like, what are you doing?
So I've heard a lot more talk over the last couple of days, a couple of weeks, that these coaches refuse to kick field goals now. They won't take points where they need them or where they present themselves. It's getting to be the computer says go for first down.
Go with the computer, man. Go with your gut. Go what's been working for years and centuries. Kick the field goal and take the points. Because guess what? Kansas State had a botched field goal, extra point. If they got that field goal that tied the game would have won the game.
Yeah, agreed.
Jim, are we headed to a Georgia Bama SEC championship game as Bama just took LSU to the woodshed?
I think so.
James Johnson's Tigers, the absolute beatdown of a lifetime.
Jalen Milroe looks really good. Right. Saban's team's stepping up. The defense is playing well. Georgia looks like the Georgia team that we expect. Again, there's still a lot of season left. I mean, it's only a couple weeks, but there's still a lot of good season left. So we're going to see what happens. A lot of tough matchups. But still, I mean, look, got big games this week. Obviously the new AP's out, but the college football rankings will come out tomorrow. I expect Ohio State still to be number 1. But I think Georgia is going to get more votes to be number 1 this week just because of the way they've been looking. Nice big win. So we're going to see what happens. But, I mean, there's a lot of big games on the schedule this week. I'm looking for, obviously, Michigan. We know what's going on with the cheating scandal. But everybody.
Jim, real quick, what is going on? Because it seems like the Big Ten cares, but they don't care.
The problem is the Big Ten. Here's the thing.
We want to pretend that we care to make every other university happy, but we don't really care. I can't get a fucking read on this thing. I don't even know what the hell's going on.
So this is what's going on. Michigan's accused of cheating, having a guy there pay tickets, similar to what the Patriots did with the video camera and all that crap. But they're stealing the signs.
Yeah. They fired that guy.
Every coach
does
it.
Stallions.
All of them cheat. They all do it. But the problem is the Big Ten wants to levy sanctions, but they're waiting for the NCAA to finish their investigation.
Which is going to be after the season is over.
Which is going to be after
it's going to take them 3 years from now to make the discipline.
No. Sam's right. It's going to be Carlos. After the season, and then Jim Harbaugh is going to go to the NFL.
Yeah, he'll sneak off
after Michigan wins the national title. Oh man,
Michigan's not winning. He's not winning the national championship.
He's gonna pull a Pete Carroll and run.
Look, they got a tough game this Saturday at Penn State. Michigan has not played anybody. Michigan's a good team, but they got a tough game. I'm not saying Penn State's gonna win. Michigan's going to win the game, but it's going to be a tougher game than a lot of people think it's going to be.
People are begging the Big Ten to do something. The Big Ten is looking at that Ohio State versus Michigan TV money and thinking, nah, we'll be all right.
No, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. Look, I'm keeping my eyes up in Washington this week. I mean, you got a 3:30 start coming off of
that would be nice.
Emotional win. Look, we saw what Washington was after their emotional win with Oregon. Didn't play great against Arizona State. Didn't play great against Stanford. Utah sitting right there.
Oh, Carlos.
Man, that's going to be a tough one for them. But I think they might be able to run the table there. Ole Miss and Georgia, that's a big game. Georgia should win. They're at home. They should win at home. I mean, the rest of the schedule doesn't look too. USC and Oregon, USC is going to lose. If Washington put up 50 on them, I don't know what Bo Nix and Oregon's going to do. They're going to put 60.
At least.
Damn.
Jim,
that might be the first half.
As we sit here right now, Alan, we're not talking Sunday Night Football, so don't worry about it. Who's your four?
It'd be nice to have.
Wait, who's my four?
Who's your four? Right? Who do you think is the four?
The four right now.
The four.
That at the end of the year or right now?
Just right now. Right now.
One Ohio State, 2 Georgia. I'm not putting the national champions ahead because of resume. I think Ohio State has the 2 wins over Penn State and Notre Dame. I think that puts them up, but Georgia's really close. Putting Washington at 3 and Florida State at 4, and I have Michigan out because Michigan's played nobody.
I like that. I'm in for that.
I see it.
I'm in for that.
Because look at the wins Washington has. They just beat USC. I know their defense isn't as good, but you just went to SC and won. You beat Oregon. You got a nice win. Pac-12's up. Michigan hasn't really played anybody.
Did Washington play Oregon State yet?
No, they got to go to Corvallis.
Yeah.
So they play Utah, go to Corvallis, and have the Apple Cup. Man.
Here it is. It's on their plate.
Yeah, it is. If they win out and they win the Pac-12 title game, they're definitely in.
They're in.
Washington's in if they win out. Yeah, I
100%. Here's the issue, though. So if Georgia is undefeated and they meet Alabama in the SEC title game, and Alabama wins, you're getting 2 SEC title teams in the champ. I'm telling you now.
It'll kick your Pac-12 team out.
It'll kick your Pac-12 team out.
Yeah. We can't shake. No.
Yeah.
Would they knock Michigan out? Because Michigan will be in the top 4.
Unless Michigan loses.
That's the only thing Michigan loses.
If Michigan's undefeated, they stay in.
And Michigan or Ohio State. Yeah, Michigan or Ohio State. One of them's getting a loss.
Yeah,
Carlos,
exactly.
Come on, man. Gee whiz.
I mean, look, it all depends. Again, Georgia could beat Alabama, but if Alabama beats them, how are you not taking Georgia?
Right.
Yeah.
And for everybody that thinks next year we won't be having this discussion again.
Oh, we're gonna have the same discussion again.
It's gonna be more. It's gonna be more involved.
I will say this.
Wash, repeat.
Look, I will say this. I am a big fan of 4. I don't like 12 because look at every game that matters this year in the regular season and what we're talking about and the implications we're talking about.
6 or 8. I think
8 is good, man. 8 is what
perfect.
it is.
I would take 8.
I would have taken 8, the top 8. That's fine because do I really want a 2-3 loss team in a playoff?
Right. No.
That's exactly what you're getting next year.
That's what you're getting next year.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Notre Dame and USC still wouldn't be in.
Yeah.
Jim, let's get your
I don't know.
Texas is.
Let's get your Thursday night pick before we get you out of here. It's the 1-7 Panthers. Man, it's going to be a riveting fucking Thursday night.
Game. What a fucking
head
game.
to Chicago. The Bears are minus 3.5.
Shit begat shit, homie.
What?
Hey,
What?
I'm going to be live at a hotel Thursday. They're not going to have the game on, so I won't be able to watch it. But not that I'm going to miss it.
I was about to say, lucky you.
I'll record for you, Nick.
Hey, thank God I'll be in Toronto. Thank God. I don't have to watch that dog shit of a game.
But you know what? It'll probably be the most exciting Thursday night game this year so far.
It would go freaking nuts.
They scored 50 on Thursday night. DJ Moore had Tennessee night the last time they played on Thursday.
I'll tell you this. I've watched one Thursday night game. Like most people, I don't care about Amazon Prime being on Amazon Prime. If I don't have one remote to get to the game, I'm not watching it.
Yeah, that's true.
Unreal.
Who you like, Jim? It's Bears 3.5, favored minus 3.5.
Neither team.
Tie.
We're in the business of picking games, Jim.
Tie.
3.5 tie.
Well,
somehow
they tie, then the Bears cover.
Tie.
Well, then the Panthers. The Panthers win.
Push.
Well,
I will say this before Jim. I will say this before Jim makes his pick. They're rushing Justin Fields probably back out there because they own Carolina's number 1 pick. They want to make sure Carolina loses on Thursday night.
Yeah. The Bears this is a great game for the Bears. They're like, both teams, can we both lose? Because that way we both make sure we have the top
They
pick.
fucking suck too. Both teams suck. They're so bad. They're so fucking bad.
So we got your
really
Panthers
bad.
plus 3.5 is what you're saying, Jim.
I guess I don't care.
Panthers
Mark
plus
it down.
3.5.
Jim's got Carolina plus 3.5.
Unreal.
I don't give a shit.
Flip a coin.
I don't even give a fuck, bro. I don't give a fuck.
I don't care. Like I said, I'll be in Toronto. I'm not watching the game.
You're definitely not watching that
I'm
one.
definitely
There's other
not
stuff
watching
on.
that one. Yeah, no. I'm not watching that one. Nope.
What are we doing in Toronto, Jim?
Yeah, what's up in Toronto, man?
Yeah, bro.
It's Hockey Hall of Fame weekend.
It is the weekend. I thought it was next weekend.
It's this coming weekend.
Hell yeah.
Oh, man. Dude, that's going to be a blast. So you're going to be able to get like all the media sessions in like you did for the draft and everything?
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
That's awesome.
Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday.
Follow him on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, at Jim Biringer.
Whatever you want to call it.
Go follow him now because you're going to see all the highlights, all the inside scoop of things that he's going to present later. So
yeah, it's going to be a good time, guys. The Hockey Hall of Fame weekend, always a fun. Like I said last week, the only thing I wish is that they didn't have games on induction day. But hey, it's all right. It happens. Should be good. Couple of Leaf games Friday, Saturday night in Toronto. Always a good thing.
Leaf games?
Both
of them.
Yeah, both Leaf games Friday, Saturday night. Meet up with some people. Should be good.
Say hi to Edge for us.
Well, he may not be there. I'm not sure. He's got that AEW thing that's going on, so I'm not sure if he'll actually be there. But you got the Legends Classic, the Hall of Fame on Sunday. That should be fun seeing all those guys play, participate. It's always a fun time. So, but yeah, it should be a good weekend. Can't wait. Excited. But I will try my best after the induction to come on and just recap something for you guys. Next Monday night.
Wear the tux.
You just let me know. Me know.
Yeah.
We'll take care of it. Hey, I'm excited to see some things though, man. I'm really
it's gonna be a good time,
man.
It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a fun time. So I can't wait. Yep, can't wait.
Boots on the ground, folks, at the National Hockey Hall of Fame.
National Hockey League. No, not National Hockey League.
Hockey
Hall of Fame.
Right, Hockey Hall of Fame.
Oh, it's like basketball. It's Basketball Hall of Fame. Hockey.
Yeah, it's just the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Right.
All right. Jim, be sure to Jim, be sure to tell everybody that's on everybody's lips the superstar that's got everybody saying
L.A. Knight. Yeah.
Scott, you shut the fuck up.
Thanks, Jim. We'll catch you next time, man. Appreciate you.
Be
safe, bro.
Thanks, bros. Take it easy.
All right.
Oh, I love Jim.
Ladies and gentlemen, as Nick unfreezes or disconnects or whatever the hell he's doing here, guys.
It's his album cover.
Screenshot, froze, clip, done.
Mama
Here we
didn't raise
go.
no fool. Part 2.
Oh, well, Nick reset this connection, guys. Let's get it ready here. I mean, we got tons of talk here. Lots of stuff happened in the baseball world today.
Sure,
obviously,
but the most important thing is hearing Scott say "habit" in his Bostonian accent.
Oh, Justin's my buddy.
Yeah. My buddy. Say the name. You say the name right now. I've been waiting weeks for it. You say Herbert.
Justin.
Your boss.
Oh, there he is.
No,
Nick,
I want Herbert. I want Herbert.
Yeah.
You say
yeah,
Herbert.
my Wi-Fi was out for a second.
Look at him. He's back, guys. He's back. All right, Nick, I'll let you do the intro because I know you've been waiting for it. So,
Scott,
Alan.
Yeah. What are you doing, Scott? Scott, what are you doing, man? Damn.
So, as the top of the hour was brought to, we talked about my Cubs making the big move. Scott was shitting on it all day, but you know what? I'm not letting Scott rain on my fucking parade, by God.
No diarrhea raining on you.
About it, to help me celebrate, Christmas came early. Craig Counsell to the Cubs. Give it up for Jonathan Grishman to help me break it down, baby.
Oh,
Jonathan!
And before you guys go, the first hour of the Let's Talk Sports Show was brought to you by Nick's Internet. So
it goes the Guardian signed somebody too, but that's okay. We can talk about the other stuff. That's fine.
We'll talk about all three. A big day for managers. Yeah, Sam, you're right. Voit to the Guardians. The Mets get their manager, but most importantly, Craig Counsell to the Cubs. Jonathan, which manager do you like moving first? And then tell Scott to suck it about them not giving, David Ross the proper goodbye, will you?
Man, how crazy is that? It was the most, I guess, the best kept secret in Major League Baseball was the Cubs, going about the process of getting Craig Counsell.
Yeah.
I hate that. I mean, again, David Ross, a good guy in baseball. He was part of the team that won the World Series for the Cubs. So correct me if I'm wrong, Nick. And that's how you treat him.
We did him right. We gave him a damn. Hold on. We gave him a damn manager position.
Yeah.
He's never even managed a baseball game. I think we did him just fine. Okay. We gave him a team. We let him manage a team. He's never even been a manager, a coach of any sort, and we let him manage a professional baseball team for 4 years. I think we did okay for him.
Yeah, but you don't do. Listen,
fire him. Then fire him last week. Jonathan, like I said at the top of the show, like I said, Scott, you go in, you're going in. You got a truck, right, Jonathan? You Ford Ranger or something? What do you got? F-150.
What year?
2013.
Okay, 2013, right? So, Jonathan, you're driving around. You're like, ooh, that's a nice fancy fucking Ford 350, 2023. And you say, you're just like, you know what? I don't really want to buy it, but I just want to take a look at it. Let me just talk to it. Hey, that's a nice truck. You know what, sir? Get rid of that truck. We'll give you this truck. Brand fucking new. It's better. It's better, baby. It's really fucking better. All you gotta do is pay a little bit of money.
Not the same.
This has been going on all day, Jonathan. All day this has been going on.
You're really comparing buying a vehicle to firing a manager and hiring one in the same day, the same hour.
That's exactly what I said today.
Hey, that's what happens. That's life, baby. Hey,
when does that happen? When does that happen? When was the last time you've seen that?
Jonathan, it happens all the time. When a team signs a player, when a team signs a guy, especially not so much in baseball because there's not a whole lot of salary cap, but in football, basketball, when they sign a guy and you're like, shit, we're over the fucking cap because we just gave this guy a shit ton of fucking money. Well, hey, got him bottom guy on the 53-man roster. Oh, sorry. See ya. Off the way you go. That's life, baby. That's life.
This is better than my stories.
Christmas came early. The Cubs got the best manager in the fucking game, and we're going to open up the books in salary.
So hold on.
Don't be joining Scott shitting on my parade here.
No, hold on. Okay, so Nick. So Christmas came early. So explain to me what has Craig Counsell done to earn the highest paid. To be the highest paid manager in baseball.
Numbers wise, he's the best manager in all of baseball from everything I've read. He took the shitty ass Brewers 6 times to the fucking playoffs, or 5 times in the last 6 years. I'll take that.
I don't know. There's a guy in Texas that would like to disagree with you.
How many NLCSs has he appeared in Milwaukee?
How many times do the Brewers not open up the pocketbooks for people?
Hold on.
What the Cubs will do for him.
So what has he done, though? What has he done to make the postseason?
He's won division titles. He beat us 9 games. They were 9 games above us.
What has he done? What has he done in his career? What has he done in his career?
He's won division titles in a town that's never won anything. What has Milwaukee done before Craig Counsell? I rest my case, Your Honor.
Well, I don't see what he has done to be the highest paid manager. I don't see what he's done to be the highest paid manager in baseball. All right, he's a good manager. Let's say he is a good manager.
Jonathan, when you really want something, you got to spend a little extra money. It's like that hot hooker where you're like, you know what? I really want that blowjob, and she does that little thing. I'm going to spend that extra money that the other hooker that's not going to. You know, because this other hooker that I got to spend a little extra money does this extra special thing for me with her tongue. So Nick, sometimes you got to spend a little extra mony, baby. It's
what
okay.
You're saying right now
excellent metaphor, Nick. I approve.
So what you're saying right now, Nick, is you're happy with division titles and not World Series. That's basically what you're saying.
What I'm saying is with Craig Counsell and with his managing style and the way we can spend money, unlike Milwaukee. We have a better chance with him as our manager for the Cubs to win a World Series, and he's got a better chance to win a World Series with the Cubs than he did the Brewers because we're going to pay people.
Didn't you?
That's what I'm saying.
Did you not have a conversation with us in the beginning of this year in spring training talking about the ownership doesn't really spend all that much money?
We're spending money now, though. I did say that.
Now we're going to spend money. Now we're going to spend money. We didn't spend money. So if you lose Cody Bellinger, more likely you're going to lose Cody Bellinger. You're going to lose Marcus Stroman.
Herbert. You said it.
So what are you going to spend the money on? You're not getting everybody. I'm sorry. Juan Soto's not.
We're not getting everybody.
You can live in the pipe dream all you want.
I equivalent this to 2015. This is what I said earlier at the beginning of the top of the show too, Jonathan. So 2014, we had this guy named Rick Renteria. We found a core, right? I believe the Cubs feel like they found a core. They got Ian Happ. They got a couple of good young pitchers. They have your guy Dansby, the second baseman who Nico Horner. Like they found the core. Okay, hey, we got a core. All right, now. Just like in 2015, what did we do in 2015? We went and got John Lester. We went and got Jason Hayward. We went and got next year we got John Lackey. We went out and got a bunch of. We went and opened the books once we found a core. The Cubs are looking, say, hey, we got a good young core. Now we're gonna go add to our good young core. Now we're gonna go get a fucking manager that can manage us and take us to the next fucking step. That's what we did today, and that's what we're gonna do this offseason. That's my belief. I could be wrong.
But the manager himself has never been there. He's never led a team to the NLCS. He's never led a team to the World Series. Contrary to what you think as far as Milwaukee, contrary to what your belief is as far as who Milwaukee is, the manager himself has not led a team in that direction.
I understand what you're saying.
Bochy. Bruce Bochy had a
Joe Madden never won a World Series till he came to Chicago either, and look what happened.
But I'm saying Bruce Bochy has a history of doing what he did in Texas. You have Brian Snitker, who has won a World Series in Atlanta. You have Dave Roberts, who has won a World Series in LA. You have managers who have done it before that you can sit there and say they didn't. They could. You can make the argument to make them the highest paid manager in baseball because they have the big prize. They have won a ring. Craig Counsell has not done that. I don't care if
Joe Madden hadn't either in 2016 when he came. What happened? We won the World Series. It's similar situation.
That shit, Jonathan. I'm gonna stir this pot.
That's what I'm telling you. It's the same situation. Great manager, shitty organization. Won't spend money. Organization's gonna willing to spend money. Bring in the good manager. We're going to work together. We're going to win together, baby.
All right,
Don't be shitting on my parade. You're shitting on my parade, Jonathan. You and Scott.
No,
You'll be ready on my parade.
Before we go on here, they hire Counsell. They sign one pitcher. They don't sign a stud offensive player. How are you going to feel in April?
Well, we offered Cody Bellinger qualifying offer, so
I'm throwing out that example. You had Cody Bellinger last year. That doesn't improve your team. You had him. What would you say if the Cubs don't
didn't improve our team? He helped us almost make the playoffs.
You got to retain him.
Yeah,
you got to retain him. If you don't retain him,
Bellinger improved the Cubs. Bellinger did improve the Cubs.
He did.
Now, let's just say if you do retain him, let's say you do retain him. You're still a wild card team. How do you improve to be that next level? How do you improve to compete with the Braves, with the Dodgers, with the Phillies in the National League, and potentially the Diamondbacks? Diamondbacks ain't going to go anywhere either. So what do you do to improve your team if you keep Bellinger and you're a wild card team? Because guess what? You don't have pitching. You lost Stroman. Stroman's not coming back. We know that. So you're going to need to go get pitching to be able to compete with the rest of the National League elites. How do you improve the team from there?
Oh, well, that's easy. Counsell goes get some of his guys. That's going to be gone already this year.
Great.
Thank you.
That's what it is.
I mean, okay, so you go get Corbin Burns? Okay.
Go get Burns.
He replaces Stroman, but Stroman was a good pitcher. Burns at his peak was better than Stroman, but not by much. Okay.
Burns is still an effective pitcher. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. So is Stroman. So you're still there as a wild card team. Did you get yourself better than the Brewers? Sure. We don't know what the Cardinals are going to do. We don't know what they're going to be like. Again, there's too much talent on that team still right now that we can't think that they're not going to bounce back. They're just going to figure it out and bounce back. So that's a question mark in the NL Central. Is St. Louis going to be? Was this just a 1-year anomaly for St. Louis, and they're going to figure it out and be the team that we think? So that's a question mark right there. Cincinnati showed they can be competitive too. So how they're going to continue their development, and they're going to and they have some money now freed up to spend as well. And they saved that money by not doing much of the trade deadline that they're going to spend in the offseason here. So they're going to be a better team also. So, yeah, you made yourself better than the Brewers if you go get Corbin Burns and you got Craig Counsell, but the rest of the division is still going to be there in conversation. Are you still a wild card team, or are you going to be the top dog in the division? That I don't know right now. You're going to need to do
we'll be able to answer that question after the hot stove. You know what I mean? Like that's you know what I mean? That's what I think. Again, and I just hey, today is a new relief. David Ross did okay. He wasn't a great manager by no means.
Well,
he wasn't.
I mean, fired him a week ago. That's the only issue I have about that is you fired him a week ago.
Again,
yeah,
I don't think that they thought they were going to get Craig Counsell. What happened was Craig was talking to all these other teams. They didn't reach out to him. November 1st hit, his contract ends. He's on a free agent. Hey, Craig, how much money will it take you to come to the fucking Cubs? I don't know. How about fucking $8 million a year? Okay, sounds good to us. All right. Sign on the dotted line. Just like you bought that truck today.
Here's my point, though.
350 I was talking about.
But here's my point to that. If that's the case, then you already made your mind up as a franchise that David Ross is not the guy.
I think they would have brought him back. It was a similar situation, just like in 2014. They didn't mind Rick Renteria, but when you can upgrade, you upgrade, and they got an upgrade.
But David Ross wasn't the
guy.
guy.
You have it in mind. You have it in mind. Yeah, look, Counsell right now is the top dog of free agent managers. I agree with that. And if you can go get the top dog, go get him. But you made the decision. You have it in your mind. If you're going to sit there and say, because they've had conversations, these teams have had conversations. I bet you the Cubs that when the season ended, they sat down with their exit meetings with the front office staff and said, what do we think about David Ross? I guarantee you the conversation at that time is, I don't think he's the guy. They should have made that decision at that point then.
That's what I've been saying all day.
Here's my rebuttal is that they may have, Jonathan, but when people posted that question on Twitter, I would say, who are you going to get that's better? And that's what I would have said.
A lot of people were better than David Ross. A lot of people were better than David Ross. By the way, I'm pretty sure this conversation started halfway through the season.
But if you fired Ross a few weeks ago, if you would have fired him at the end of the season, like everybody else did, if you would have fired him when the season ended last week, all right, how does that affect you negatively to go get Craig Counsell then? It doesn't. You still make the same offer. You still make the offer that's better than the Mets and the Guardians. You're still able to go do that. The difference is they held David Ross hostage, basically to say you're gonna sit here in timeout, David, when we figure out what we want to do with you. Because if we go get Counsell, then you're fired. But if we don't, guess what? You may still have a job, but you'll probably be fired by midseason in June because we didn't really want you anymore.
Jonathan, you know what this screams to me when I hear this
stir the shit out of it.
Desperation. They don't know what direction they want to go, but up. They don't know how to go up. They don't know how to go up.
The only guy I didn't get.
We're going to see a repeat of the Padres and them having to take out a freaking loan to go play their freaking salary players because they can't afford it because they're going to go out and spend a bunch of money. And then the Blues
how many players, honestly, how many players are out there right now in free agency will help the Cubs get better? They're not getting Juan Soto. We don't
know that.
Well, it depends what market value we're looking at. Baseball is such a harder sport to figure out.
Not a free agent.
I was about to say, Soto's not even a free agent. You would have to trade for him.
He's in his last year of arbitration. So you got to trade him, and then you're going to sign him to an extension at that point. So that's a different conversation to have in regards of Juan Soto.
Right.
Again, pitching, you're going to have to replace Bellinger in the outfield. That's number one. Well, there's not a lot in the outfield. I mean,
if they don't bring him back, they could bring him back.
You could. You absolutely could. Is that likely? I don't think it's likely.
I don't know. I give it 50-50, honestly. I think he loved it in Chicago. He had his best year in a long time, right? Like he had a rejuvenation in Chicago. Where was he at?
For my opinion, I hope, and I know there's a conversation about Bellinger going to New York and to the Yankees. I hope he doesn't because I think we will see a repeat of how he ended his career in LA. I think that's going to be what it is. I think being away from the limelight and the big market and everything is so good for him that being in Chicago was such a breath of fresh air. And he even stated that so many times. So I agree. I think the best case scenario would be to stay in Chicago or go to a smaller market team where the eyes are not always on you. I think so. I agree with you on that,
which he's not going to do.
No,
because that doesn't build your brand personally.
Yeah,
I get it.
You win a World Series in Chicago, though. Ask all them boys ask them boys about their brand in Chicago. That's the thing. They had a good brand. All those people that won in 2016. They thought their market was too hot, and then now the Cubs actually looks fucking smart because they got rid of everybody, and none of them ever panned out.
Well,
I agree with you. You win in Chicago. If you win a World Series with the Cubs, because again, that World Series obviously it was the historical aspect of what that World Series meant too. But if you win a World Series in Chicago, yeah, absolutely, your brand just goes up. It's the same thing in New York. You win a World Series in New York, guess what? Your brand goes up. You win a World Series in Boston, guess what? Your brand goes up. Win one in LA, your brand goes up. So yeah, Chicago's part of the conversation. Absolutely.
They're just on the lower half of that conversation.
I do think at the end of the day, Bellinger in Chicago would be so much better for him. Or again, a smaller market team just don't like. And I know he's going to go. More likely, he will go to probably. There's so much conversation because of the family ties to the Yankees, whatnot for Bellinger. But I hope for his sake, because goodness gracious, can you imagine? If he fails in New York, what that fan base is going to do to him? It's going to be absolutely 10 times worse than what he dealt with in LA. And we saw how he crumbled in the LA market with the fans turning on him as they did. So I hope he doesn't, but I have a feeling he's going to end up in New York.
You know what? Let's talk about Sam's Gardens because I feel like I got a good Christmas. I feel like I got a good Christmas.
I agree with you, Carlos.
Can we are jealous? You and Scott are jealous that I got a PlayStation 5 and your parents only bought you the new you guys got a fucking old ass Nintendo. And you're trying to tell me how shitty my PlayStation 5 is right now. Okay. I'm not here for it. So let's talk about the
very beginning of the season.
Beginning of the season. Jonathan, I'm really excited, so I guess I'm ready for you to hurt my feelings again.
No, Jonathan will bail this out.
I love your hire, Sam.
Right. To finish off with Nick, I'm not crapping on the council hire for the Cubs. I just hated how they handled David Ross in the process.
That's exactly what
That's what I was saying. So to the Guardians, Stephen Vaught was talked about when his last year when he played, and he was talking about there was so much conversations about him he should be a manager almost right away. He was such a smart guy, smart baseball mind that a lot of the talk was he could step into a clubhouse immediately and be a manager. I think again, there's going to be some growing pains. Obviously, for someone who's never coached or managed in the big leagues or even at all at the professional level, there's going to be some growing pains in there. If he can put a staff around him that's going to help him walk his way through, there's a lot of talent in Cleveland still. They underwhelmed and underperformed this year. And again, there's probably other variables that took place because of Tito's health that just absolutely, distracted the team. It was so hard to deal with at the time. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that. But there's a lot of talent still in Cleveland that if Vogt can put a staff together that helps him through the growing pains and be able to make the decisions and be able to go through the process, this could be a really good hire. And again, David Ross was not a bad hire for Chicago, much in the same light as what Stephen Vogt is. It was a guy who stepped in his first managerial job was like from a catcher position, and he took a team and they made them very competitive too. Did they have the success they were hoping for? No, they didn't. I could see that being the case for Cleveland, that you have someone who's smart, knows the game, knows the ins and outs of the job, and is going to grow and learn on the job with it. And if he surrounds himself with people to help him, you could see that this would be a really good hire for Cleveland. And I think that, again, smart man, smart baseball mind, and that's what you need in this game, especially again as I kind of pinpointed. The job is transitioning almost back to baseball minds. We're seeing that a little bit more now, where guys like the analytical department is getting smaller, and the baseball people are getting a little bit more control again. And I think this is a step in that direction where you see someone like Stephen Vogt, who understands numbers because he played the game in the recent years, but at the same time is a baseball mind. So I like the hire by Cleveland. Will it make them immediate division contenders, division winners, over the Twins? To be determined right now. But I think this is a good step in that direction to rediscover who they are and put themselves in that position to compete with Minnesota in 2024.
All right.
That's
That was
weird.
uplifting. I love it. That's
There
great.
really is a lot of hope in
Clip it.
Cleveland right now.
Yeah, there is.
So,
Jonathan, you surprised the Mets didn't make a big splash? They went and got the Yankees bench coach, and it's not a big name.
No, that's exactly what I was expecting. Because, again, what big name manager, when you had your owner come out in the middle of the season and say, we're rebuilding for 2025 and 2026, what big name manager is going to say, yeah, I'll take that job. I'll lose for the next 2 years, and then by year 3, we'll start winning. Nobody's going to do that. So you're going to bring somebody in who's essentially going to be there for 2 years, which is what Mendoza is going to do. If they lose, he's going to be there for 2 years. When they figure out how to turn it around and rebuild, they'll fire him and they'll bring the big name manager in. That's essentially what it's going to be. He's going to be the scapegoat of the losing. Just be a body here, and if you do a good job, great. We'll give you a little bit of a raise. But your job here is essentially endure the rebuild, lose for 2 seasons. By 2026, we turn the keys over to somebody else, and then we start turning and winning from there. Which is it's kind of. It's crappy, but that's going to be the case again. When you're
it's also experience for the guy, right? It's not just crappy situation. It's also great experience for Mendoza. I believe Mendoza, right?
To
come over to the Mets to be a manager in a major league. So there's something with it at least, instead of just hiring a big guy and letting him lose.
But if you're let's just say we have the Mets. They, these next 2 years, let's just say they win 75 games these next 2 years, 80 games, and he's fired in 2 years. And again, that's experience, but you're looked at as far you're going to be asked in interviews, well, what could you have done better? Well, you're not going to sit there and say, well, I was told we were supposed to lose, and my job was just to be here to endure it. You're not going to tell people that.
No,
that's what he's going to get asked. He's going to get asked, what could you have done better?
We'll give a better report than that. We know that, right? Like, it's not going to just be, this is what the owner said, kind of thing.
I think the problem with Mendoza in New York is putting a coaching staff together who's going to buy into this.
That's where you're going to have the issue.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying it right now.
You're taking a job where probably you're going to get fired in 2 years. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Which I said, I expect Pete Alonso to get traded this offseason. I think that's more likely going to happen. They've kind of avoided that in this regular season. At the deadline, they said we're not, but there was never a definitive plan for Pete. So I kind of expect he's going to get traded. So you're just going to have a team of around Francisco Lindor with nobody to drive in runs for you. So what are you basing off of how you're going to be competitive for these next 2 years with no pitchers? You have nobody in the pitching rotation right now. With no plan, and even with little depth in your farm right now either, that's ready to go in 2024. What is your plan? And again, if you're rebuilding, that means Steve Cohen is not spending money like he did this in 2020 for the 2023 season. He's not going to spend the same amount of money because that's foolish at this point. So
he's going to end up with
build a competitive team with a competitive and that's the key for this competitive team. Not a winning team. How do you build a competitive team and convince people to say, hey, yeah, we're going to do this and we're going to make this the best situation for us?
Yeah, his starting staff is going to be four casts off from other organizations that they signed the cheap deals. That's what their pitching staff and Kota Senga, obviously. But those other 4 guys are going to be the bottom of the barrel cast offs from Washington, Kansas City, Minnesota, wherever it may be, but that's where it's going to happen.
I heard Zach Greinke's looking to come back.
9-year-old Zach Greinke.
In a major market, though, doesn't he have those issues with? Doesn't he have
he ain't coming back. I'm just kidding. He's not coming back.
But nobody's going to be at the Mets game, Scott, so he won't have anxiety. You know what I mean? It'll be like going back playing with the Royals again. 20 people.
Who's going to be heavily attended? The Mets or the Rays? Who's going to get more attendance?
Oh, that's great.
You're watch the Mets.
Yeah, it'd still be the Mets.
It's still be the Mets.
You'll have probably a 4th or 5th place. Again, depends on how bad what the Nationals do, but you have a 4th or 5th place team still outdraw a team that's going to be a top 2 team in their division. in the race. So I mean, God, it's so bad.
That's such embarrassing, dude.
We're gonna find out basically again this year. I said this with Scott and Allen at times. So like, is LSU baseball going to outdraw the Tampa Bay Rays again this year?
It's unreal.
LSU women's basketball.
I remember real quick just off. We had for.
Story time with Jonathan.
I thought that was my internet. I thought that was my internet.
Got him.
Another album cover.
Yeah,
I like it. Jonathan Grishman, relax.
He's totally singing. He's totally singing
Arkansas, Missouri internet.
He's singing. He's totally singing Paula Abdul right there.
Shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes.
No, he's singing. I want it.
No.
Tell me
it's
why.
Macarena, right?
Just when we thought we escaped that song, it's back, baby. It's back.
Holy crap! We'll have to get him here once he gets back on.
I really want to Photoshop. He has this picture, or I think the college has a picture of him and whatnot. It's got like the faded thing. He's got this serious stare, and I really want it to be like a fragrance commercial. Be like Jonathan Grisham. Dugout, just something like that. He's back. Hey, bud.
Sorry about that, guys. The internet here is so spotty at times. So sorry about that.
You don't got to apologize, Jonathan. We're used to spotty internet.
But no, what I was saying though, we had for the LSU Super Regional game, there was 15,000 people that was at that, and they couldn't put 20,000 people for the Rays playoff game. So we almost had a college team almost outdrew a professional baseball team in a playoff game out there. So again, it's just I can't speak enough about how pissed off the Tampa Bay Rays make me feel about things with how they handle their attendance and whatnot.
Unreal.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's
Unreal.
a shame, honestly, man. They put out a good product every year in, year out.
Yeah, Jonathan,
they should have moved.
When do you think we'll see some of these like big free agents? Or is it going to be a slow burn? Because some off seasons we see a slow burn where it's not, it's almost February before we see some of these big free agents move, and then sometimes it's right around Christmas. When do you think we'll see, news on Ohtani, some of these bigger free agent guys?
Well, the winter meetings are usually when things kind of start going, and I don't know the dates of the winter meetings this year, but it's going to be based off of Ohtani. When Ohtani, it was kind of like last year where Aaron Judge, where he made his where it was the courting of Aaron Judge. He put a pause on everything going on in free agency until he made a decision where he was going to go, and then once he decided, it kind of opened the floodgates a little bit, and then became trickling down for the rest of the free agent class. I think it's going to be the same thing. Is once Shohei Ohtani figures out and says, "I'm going to go play here," and puts pen on paper, then you'll see guys like Blake Snell. You'll see guys that are just going to start trickling to the next next group of free agents, and then you'll go from there. So I think the winter meetings, and again, I don't off the top of my head, I don't know when the date is. I have to go look and see, but that will be. I think that's when you'll see Ohtani signed. Is around the winter meetings, just because that's usually when everything kind of starts going. And then after that, you'll start picking up some here and there. Some of the top guys will go, and then the rest of the free agent class will follow suit by January, by end of December and January from there.
So the GM meetings are coming up early in a week or two, and then the winter meetings are December 4th through the 7th.
So that's when you'll
3 weeks from now. 3 weeks from now.
It has the GM meetings November 7th, so it makes it seem like it starts tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Free agency begins. I think the free agency begins today.
Free agency begins today, I thought, right?
Today? 5 days after the World Series.
Yeah, 5 days.
That's why everything's happening today.
Okay.
Yes. So you have a lot of teams that have already begun their qualifying offers. You've had options been picked up and all that. So all that started today. GM meetings start tomorrow. The winter meetings in December. That's when I believe you'll see movement with Ohtani over these next few weeks, kind of making his rounds of meetings with teams, and then by the winter meetings, a decision should be made of where Ohtani's going to be, and then everything trickles down from there.
What is your feeling on Ohtani?
Is he going to the Dodgers? He's going to the Dodgers, ain't he?
I don't think he's going to the Dodgers. I don't. I know there's been a lot of. I mean, for some reason,
I think he stays West Coast though.
But again, and this is something that I know Alan's going to be like waiting for the. For some reason, the Rangers keep on being mentioned, and I don't understand. I don't really.
Don't give him hope. Don't do that.
Wow.
I don't think
the Mariners.
That's where I think he's going to go. I think the relationship with Ichiro is going to spur him to go to Seattle. But I keep seeing and hearing Texas being a top destination for him. And
I got the Giants in my world. I've been hearing as well. Possibly in a destination too.
Well, I mean, Texas, no state income tax, and you're joining
right.
Obviously a winner. And that's what he claims he wants is to win. So it makes sense.
Alan's on the phone now. He wants to start the baseball show in 10 minutes. After that, just letting you know.
I mean, I think the tie-in with Ichiro, the respect he has for Ichiro, he's his hero. That's where I kind of think Seattle. I could see San Francisco just because they tried to get Judge last year. They did not get him, so they have money. We know San Francisco has money to throw at Shohei to be able to make that move. But again, like for some reason, I don't understand it either. I don't understand that Texas is becoming that destination for him, and maybe it's to you, Darvish. That Darvish was there for a little bit, so there's a Japanese tie-in to that possibly. But I mean, if that was the case, then we could hear San Diego. But I mean, because Darvish is there, which I don't think that's going to ever happen. But I would say it was Seattle, San Francisco, and Texas are the three top destinations. I don't think the Dodgers are anywhere near the conversation unless they absolutely overpay and they go to like 500. Unless they do the $500,000 or $500 million contract to him. I think that could be the only way the Dodgers get the opportunity. But Seattle, San Francisco, and Texas. I think those are the top three destinations.
Do we see a sneaky team come out of the woodwork like a Chicago, a New York, a Boston, a Philadelphia, somebody like that, or is it strictly West Coast?
I think it's only West Coast. I think it's West Coast just because again it's an easier travel to Japan. You do have a lot of teams that have the Japanese tie-in, with history of players that played, that had Japanese players there. There's not. I mean, again, the Yankees and Red Sox have Japanese history. Braves had one player sign. I don't think the Braves are going to be. I don't think the Braves will make a move for Shohei, as much as that would be awesome. But I'm going to be realistic and say that's not a chance. I know the Cubs have had players who have Japanese tie-ins as well. But I just think that
Suzuki's reached out to him a couple times already.
Suzuki is so. But I think the tie-in of being on the West Coast, which is an easier travel to Japan. He'd be able to make, when the off season happens, you go to Japan, go back home from there. I think that's a much more appealing destination for him instead of trying to go across country to the East Coast. I don't see that being a case unless, again, somebody just absolutely throws so much more money than everybody else and overpays him to do so. I just think it's going to be a West Coast destination for him from the beginning.
I'm with it. I agree. I fully agree.
I do too. Jonathan, before we get you out of here, give us your Thursday night game and what you got. What you and the boys at Rich Mountain got going on?
Well, tonight it was our max out day, so we had the boys put some heavy weight on the bar. We want to do some squats and max out to see their strength, and boys put up a lot of good numbers tonight. So very proud, and I didn't get a chance to fully see how much they worked throughout this off season, except for the last few weeks. But from what I saw tonight, these boys put the work in, and it showed tonight on the weightlifting side. So it's still off season portion right now. We had practice. We did some positional work, working with first base today, working with outfielders. We get some hitting in. It's going to be like this for the rest of for the next few weeks towards the end of the semester, and then we pause for the winter break, and then we get set ourselves up ready to go for the spring. So a lot of work. And that's the point about what we're trying to teach these boys is the work now is what's going to be what's going to drive us to reach our goals in the spring, and that's competing for a conference championship and potential national championship. So it's work, and I love the characteristics that these boys have. They show up ready to go. And every day, far from what I've seen, it's every day. So I love it. I'm proud of these boys for what they're doing so far.
Love hearing that, dude. Love hearing about
Love
that.
it.
It's
Love
awesome.
it. Who you like on Thursday night? Bears are minus 3.5 favorites as what was the shit team that's coming to town?
Panthers.
Do you
Panthers,
want poop
that's
pie or poop cake, Jonathan?
Yes.
Well, we're not going to gloss over the fact that New Orleans Saints are the first place team in the NFC South. We're not going to gloss over that part.
Nick, internet's not working. I mean, Jonathan.
He's breaking up real bad. Uh-oh. He's frozen. No.
And reset.
Ooh, new song. I wish I was taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girlfriend. I would call.
Good.
A little bit.
Still.
Yeah. There you go.
Now?
Nah.
Oh, bad internet.
Hey, we've all had to battle that time.
I wish I was like 6 feet tall.
Uh-oh.
He's gone. I was going to say, type it in.
He's not choosing the Panthers, guys. He's going to choose the Lions.
Yeah, I think he was choosing. I think in the chat earlier he chose the Bears, but let's get to our final thoughts.
We got him.
Good now?
We're good now.
All right, sorry about that again.
It's okay.
Like I said, before the man, we're not going to gloss over my New Orleans Saints being a first place team in our division, are we? We're not going to just all that stuff being a bad team.
Want to talk about it.
My team's in first place.
I never make fun of anybody's internet. I know my internet shit.
Not your internet, dummy. The Saints being first place.
Yeah, damn it.
Oh, I mean, it's the lowly ass NFC South. The whole division sucks.
Here we go.
Is the Packers in first place? I haven't been paying attention.
Didn't my team beat your team? Didn't my team beat your team? Huh? That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Didn't my team beat your team head to head? Who won the bet? All right, then I rest my case, Your Honor. Court's adjourned.
Like I said, we're not going to gloss over the fact that the Saints are in first place in the end of the season.
I'm not glossing over it. I said they're in first place.
I'm not glossing over.
Hey, good for them. Good for them.
I'm
trying to get your pick for Thursday night's win. Who you got? Panthers or Bears?
I put in the chat. It was going to be a tie, right?
Yeah,
you got to pick somebody.
10-10.
Oh man, God. What a terrible game.
What is the spread? Is it the Bears minus 3?
You know what a terrible game looks like because LSU played a terrible game on Saturday as Alabama took that ass with
We were going to bring that up. Man.
First off, it was a terrible second half. It was a 21-21 ball game at halftime.
We'll get the chips back. Hold on.
Right. It was 21-21 at halftime. All right. And for some reason, Matt House, our defensive coordinator, forgot that, hey, you're allowed to spy the quarterback and put somebody to prevent him from running 15, 20, 25, and 30 yards downfield. So, and then Brian Kelly coming out today goes, if there was one adjustment we could have made in that game is we could have put a spy on the quarterback. No shit. Really? You could have? You could have spied him?
Coulda, shoulda, woulda. You know what I mean?
The entire state of Louisiana was saying that. We're not even defensive coordinators. We're not even coaches in football, but we all knew you could have spied the damn quarterback. You kidding me? So
Unreal.
It was a bad second half. It was a bad in that game, but and again, we had the guys. if there's one team I just cannot stand losing to, it's Alabama. It's that stupid elephant that makes no sense with their mascot being a tide and whatnot. It's just so idiotic.
It's an elephant, ain't it? Right? It's an elephant.
It is an elephant, but it's the Crimson Tide, and it's an elephant, mascot. Again, there's no sense that made about how they did that. It's Alabama education. They picked random things and said,
"Let's happen when you fuck your cousin."
Hey guys, did you see the primetime slate for this week in the NFL?
No, it can't be any worse than last week's.
Sunday night, Raiders Jets. Sunday night. Monday night, Broncos Bills.
Oh God,
it is awful this week.
Can they flex out of the third Sunday night game, or they didn't?
They might
flex. They have to wait too.
They can still flex.
They can
flex. They got to do it by Wednesday. They do it by Wednesday.
Yeah, they need to, because Jets Raiders on Sunday night is.
They should. So it's all right. So it's Bears Panthers. Bears are favored.
Yeah, minus 3.5.
Minus 3.5 at home.
And it's in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes.
And
Fields is playing, I believe.
He might. They haven't said yet.
I don't know if that matters.
It's very interesting. He comes back for the game that they need. They should beat the Panthers for their draft pick improvement.
I mean, what's his name? Tyler Badgett. He didn't play bad against the Saints.
He didn't play bad at all.
No, I know there was a lot of five turnovers were made in that game by the Bears, but I mean, he didn't play bad. They're pretty competitive. So is that really a good thing? They're going to put Fields back there?
Right.
Give me the Panthers. I'll take the Panthers. I'll take the Panthers to win the game.
Wow.
Hey, John, we always appreciate you joining us, even though you're trying to shit on my parade today. You and Scott joining the Old Man Grumpy's Club.
Big old poopies.
Hey, just know, if we get Ohtani, Soda, it's going to get real loud.
You're going to be the Padres 2.0 and finish third place in your division.
Soto, Soto, Ohtani. I guess you're going to try to go get Blake Snell too. You'll go get everybody.
You guys got to decide when you're done. I got to get the chips back out. We're going to do
trade for Garrett Cole in the process too. Why don't you go get Garrett Cole?
We might, baby.
I mean, it's fantasy baseball. Just let's go. Do the creative.
I made the phone call to Ricketts and said, "Get your goddamn pocket."
Here we come. Stratomatic, baby. Here we come.
Hey, by all means,
appreciate you joining us, Jonathan. We'll see you next Monday, brother.
Sounds good, guys. Appreciate it.
Safe, man.
See you, dude.
Yep.
All right, let's get to our Thursday night picks before we get out of here and our final goodbye. Johnny, we'll start with you.
I'm gonna ride with the Bears. They're at home.
The Bears.
I mean, they both suck. But I'll take the home team. And like Jonathan was saying, I don't know what the hell his name is, but the kid didn't play that badly for Chicago. Badgett. Yeah. So I'll take Chicago minus the 3.5.
Scott?
I'm going Central Michigan tomorrow night over Western Michigan. That's my pick.
That's Tuesday. Tomorrow's Tuesday.
Oh, tomorrow's Tuesday. I have to pick a Thursday. I'll go with the Bears on the premise about the draft pick compensation. I think the Bears will win. Yeah, Justin Fields back. I think the Bears will win the game. The Bears.
Sam?
The Bears.
Oh boy, I just watched the Colts defense just roll Carolina last Sunday, and I think they're just zombies walking around out there now at this point. So I'm gonna go with the Bears, who are also zombies, just less dead. What do you got? Come on, Tanner. Look at you.
Oh, my turn. I didn't hear your name.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were flirting with me again. Sorry.
I was staring into your eyes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You probably didn't notice because Nick didn't say anything to you about.
I did.
Sam talked over me.
Oh, thanks, Sam. Thanks for talking over me. Look,
next time.
Pretty easy pick here for me. I'm not trusting anything in Chicago, so give me the Panthers.
I feel like that's a shot. You know, you remember that scene
Nick
in
is wily
Moneyball
today.
when he was like, "Hey, this is shit," and then under 6 layers underneath that is more shit, and then 6 layers underneath that is us. That's that Thursday night game of Panthers Bears. That's what we're getting on Thursday night. With that being said, the Bears. The last time they played on Thursday, that was the best game they looked all year. So my math just says let's pick Bears -3.5. Don't feel great about it, but
The science is solid. Mm-hmm.
Tanner, we're gonna go to you for our final goodbye first.
Oh, I get the first dose.
Yeah, Clarissa, explain it all.
Dare.
First off, Rothschild Jayhawk beating the team by I think 50 tonight. That was awesome.
Whoop.
Good opening night. So let's go.
I mean, they're playing the school of fucking blind. What are we doing here? Come on.
Just telling you, Rothschild Jayhawk. It's a basketball school and a football school now.
Tanner,
Anyway,
I cashed that bet
baseball
too.
is done, guys. Proud of my kids. We took it to the 1 seed yesterday, all the way to the town limit. Made them use a couple pitchers they didn't want to use. You know, it was a good finish. Good finish there.
Nice.
But now we're on to officially. I can sit here and focus on this network and get this thing rolling. If you haven't checked out yet, we got our official first exclusive show of Let's Talk Bets. We've been doing it for about 4 or 5 days now. Coming into play, we are 13-10 right now. Currently, from today's slate, we are 3-1 with still this game to go. So as long as this thing stays under 40 and a half,
I do.
And Brees Hall stays under 60 and a half because I can't fix my bet after the show, we should be in safe bet. So looking good still, even despite the score. So
Damn it, man.
we're doing good things here. We're gonna have some things up coming up here for this month here, and I'm gonna try this weekend to have a meeting deal with everybody, and that way we can discuss, see the vision, get the feedback, see getting ideas, and get people's heads sticking just like mine. So good things are happening. Get ready, stay tuned. More to come. Oh, by the way, shout out to my guy Ash. I know he's kind of been feeling down lately. Hey, keep up. Things are coming for you. Just keep fighting, dude, and hope to talk with you soon. So,
Shout out, Sam.
Oh, guys, we're here at the start of a Monday, and it's important. Or the end of a Monday, I should say. It's important to start strong, I think. I know everybody hates Monday going into work and everything else or whatnot. But honestly, if you try to change your mindset a little bit, it's really not so bad. You still got to do it. So be pleasant to the people around you. They might need it.
True that.
Amen. Johnny.
Yeah, another fun show. This was quite an interesting one. It started out with you guys bickering about
Dude, it
about
was
the
awesome.
manager position, and then we had a couple of hooker comments and some other shit. So, it was quite a show. Definitely a lot of fun. It was always fun talking to Jim and Jonathan. So no, it was a great show. Looking forward to Thursday. Looking forward to the Scott Cove show on Thursday. It's been on hiatus for a couple of weeks. So looking forward to that with the DFS stuff. So. Yeah, no, looking forward to all the stuff that's going to be coming to LTS, and excited and happy to be a part of it, man.
Hall of Famer.
I get the tennis spot tonight. Jeez, this is different.
I
I want to piggyback off of one thing that Tanner said.
Me. Damn it.
Shout out to Ash Cull. Again, I know things have not been going great for him lately. I talked to Lisa today. She responded to me as to what was going on. So, Ash, things will get better. Don't worry about it. You got people looking out for you. Your mom and dad are looking out for you. We're all looking out for you. So that's a really good thing in your favor. Number 2, I'm grateful to be back. It's nice to be back. I was back yesterday for the hour-long Sunday pregame. Yeah, it's great to be back. I'm grateful to be back, and I'm grateful to be sitting here. So,
we're always
shout out to
grateful for
everybody
you
that reached out. Yeah, shout out to everybody that reached out to me, including these guys. So,
yeah, grateful for all 4 of you guys. I always love doing the shows, even though I like pressing your guys' buttons, and you guys press my buttons. That's what we do. It's what makes the show fun and entertaining.
Button pressers. Habitual line steppers.
I am a habitual line stepper and perpetual button pusher. It's my, so
sports and prostitution here on the LTS show.
Hey, I'm an expert in both, Sam.
Oh shit!
Where's your wife?
Oh my!
Hey.
The Missouri Police Department are online. They question you are.
With that being said, I'll be back Wednesday night. Me and Whit revive Head Kicks and Haymakers. It's the only UFC show you'll be able to catch right here on the Let's Talk Sports show, Let's Talk Sports Network. It is MMA. We'll be breaking down all the fights that are going to happen this Saturday, big UFC pay-per-view. So we'll talk all about that Wednesday night, 7 o'clock Central, 8 Eastern. Please tune in for that. We'll talk a little bit of past events and then the big pay-per-view this Saturday night. So please tune in if you want to get some MMA knowledge. We'll be making some picks and dropping some knowledge for you as well. Excited to get with my boy Whit and kick off that show. So excited for that. Both these teams, I know the Chargers are putting it on the Jets, but if you watch this game, the Chargers don't look real great either. But other than that,
they both stink.
Don't let people rain on your fucking parade, folks. You know what I mean? If you think it's fucking Christmas in November because your team got a good manager, don't let nobody fucking tell you otherwise, baby. Wear it loud and proud and let it.
Hit that outro. Hit that outro. Let's go.
Let's go ahead. Your friend, tell a friend, folks. Like, subscribe. We'll be back Thursday night as well, 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern. We'll make all our picks for the next week. See you then. Hit that outro, baby.
Extra time in your kiss.
One life better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep, only scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try to change, you can say no.